Gonna have to go a bit stealthy here. Just heard some people and a dog. Possibly landowner. You never know. Good afternoon. Solo in the woods today. Also, I'm on the ground. No hammock. So I need to find a nice flat-ish spot. Well, a campsite I've used before, and it's not too bad, but it has got a few slopes on it and a few things I want to sort of avoid. So, first job, I'm going to have a quick scout around. What is going to be the most suitable spot? Right, let's have a wander. First thing I'm looking for, these old stumps that are sticking up there. Last thing I need is one of them in the middle of my back while I'm trying to settle down to sleep. I did think of here. Here is fairly flat, but you see this one? Might be too bright for the camera. No leaves. He's dead. And he's got a bit of a lean on this direction. They do have a tendency just to go suddenly plop in the night, as his next door neighbour did. So that rules out this spot. So I don't really want to be anywhere on this line, because this is where he would fall roughly through here, which is a shame because that's the flattest spot. It's not too bad here, because I'd run a ridge line between these two trees. So that's a definite. That's at what I've seen so far. Ground's not bad either. Again, I could go between that tree and that tree here, but it doesn't really show on camera, but there's a bit of a slope off that way. As long as I head this end, it'll be okay. And then I suppose going back to the start, I could go right there, as long as I'm avoiding them stumps. I could go more this sort of darker area where it's been scuffed up a bit. Who knows? As you can see, I've chosen a spot. It's relatively flat, uphill towards the big tree on the right. So that'd be head end, which way I've pitched the DD pyramid tent thing that way round. It's got the air vent at that end, and I want to be sleeping with my head sort of directly below the air vent to try and cut down on condensation. I'm still in two minds about this DD pyramid tent. I love the concept of it, and it's really light and all the rest of it. But not only is it not quite big enough for me, and it's not like I'm massive, I find it such an odd shape to peg out. No matter what height I set it at, there always seems to be a saggy bit in it somewhere. And at this point of filming is about the third time I've set it up now. I just can't get it sort of exactly how I want it. Looking at the sides, it looks like it could have done with going slightly higher. But I was trying to avoid going too high with it because I'm tight for space. I wanted to sort of have it a little bit lower and wider, if that makes sense. The higher I go, the more it draws the sides in. So that's the best compromise. Right, time to throw some stuff in it. And that's bed sorted out. Pretty simple. I'll just put down my cheap plastic tarp as a ground sheet. UL80 sleep mat. Let's hope we don't get a puncture. The Andes barrel sleeping bag, which is probably going to be too warm, but I absolutely love it. I really do. And a simple decathlon pillow. Gotta have a pillow, otherwise I end up with a really bad neck. But yeah, that's nice and simple. Again, when I get in there, the tent shape is not long enough, but how well you can see at this angle, how much room there is at either side. It is only classed as a one man, but tonight when I go to bed, I'll better stick my rucksack one side, no problem, and it's a huge rucksack. And I probably won't even bother collapsing my chair. I'll stick that other side for sticking my boots and that sort of thing on. There's a lot of room in it, but it's just not long enough. Weird. Well, I think I might have got my shelter up just in time. The sky's gone really grey just in the last 5-10 minutes. It's not looking very good. I think we might have a shower. So, you can't see it, it's down there out of shot. I've put the kettle on. I'm going to make myself a quick brew, just in case I have to dive under cover. While I'm waiting, I can show you something else. Now, you've seen me probably with this sheath a few times, but with a different knife. I've swapped out the knives today, and I've brought one of my old ones that hasn't been out on a trip for a long time. Luckily it fits nice in here. What do you think of this one? Some people that have been around following the channel for a long time will have seen this before. It's a PBK Hunter, and as much as it's it's a nice knife, it's been very reliable, holds an edge well, splits wood, does whatever I need really. The best bit about it, $4.99 on a clearance type thing. Best $4.99 I ever spent, I think. It rarely comes out now because I've got plenty of other knives and I like playing, rotating them, using different ones, but for $4.99 that's got to get the cheapo prize. Right, let's get on with this coffee, and then once I've had a coffee I might quickly process some wood and just tuck that inside the tent, just in case it gets a bit damp, because it ain't looking clever. I can't be bothered to ponce about with feather sticks, because I don't know quite how long I've got till it rains. So I'm just shaving the sharp edges of these bits I've cut down as kindling sort of thing, and just making some thin shavings which will go towards my tinder bundle. You can feather stick if that's your thing, but I find it a bit time consuming, and also like this I can put these bits on separate to the stick, if that makes sense, where with a feather stick you've got to put the bit of wood itself on. I just find sticking some shavings on like this with some tinder I'll gather in a minute, but with this damp weather I don't know how good the tinder is, so that's just going to bolster it a little bit. That's the little cheap folding fire pit set up, ready to go. Bit of tinder, might get a bit more in a minute, and we're ready. Won't be lighting up yet though, we'll give it a little bit of time yet. These old pine trees, they're ideal, the pines, because I'm sure you've seen in the woodland the lower branches are always dead, so they snap off easy, and the finer ends to them, the little pieces of branch, good tinder, and of course the thicker stuff like I've got on my hand here makes good sort of first stage twigs when you first get your fire going. Pines are useful, they really are, and of course their resin, their sap, all helps with the burning. Can't beat a bit of pine to get you going. Well, I wasn't going to light the fire this early, but there's getting a few bugs about now and they're annoying me, so we're not going bushcrafty today. I've got a little tea light there, I've lit up, get us going. Got some cotton wool just to increase the flame when I start off, and I'll drop my tinder on. You see how dry that tinder is now. Let's get some of this cotton wool around. Oh, I caught that bit already. Okay, action stations. Hopefully that'll be dry enough to catch okay. Looks like we're starting. So I'm all set up. Shelter's up, bed's rolled out ready, fire's lit. Time for a beer. Got these Vocation beers again. Oh, sorry about that smoke, wind's just changed direction. Yeah, Vocation, Sweet Temptation. It's very expensive, but it's really nice. So I tend to just treat myself when I'm out camping. I certainly wouldn't dream of buying them during the day. They're just too expensive for what they are. They really are. But very nice all the same. Cheers. Oh, it's going to go down nice. I'm just going to sit here, watch the fire. As it's only just been lit, I'm going to sort of get it established, get a couple of logs on it, let them build up slow, get a nice bit of heat but not burning too fast. It's not like I need the heat for warmth. It is about keeping the bugs away. Bit of a catch-22 because I don't want a whole load of smoke, but you need a little bit to clear the bugs. And of course, I shouldn't be here, so I don't exactly want to be sending up smoke signals. So I've got to keep a reasonable fire going, so it's not smoking. Doing a solo, sitting here on my own, staring into the flames. Is that a good thing? Well, that depends. Gives you a lot of time to think. If you've got good thoughts, happy days. If you've got bad thoughts, sometimes it's not ideal. You think too much, overanalyze things. How am I today? Somewhere in the middle. If you're not feeling 100%, reach out and talk to someone. That'll always be my advice. Right, time's getting on a bit. Yeah, it's just gone 7:30. Starting to get peckish. Keeping it simple tonight. Ration pack time. I don't know whether you read that or not. Meatballs and pasta. I've had this one before. It's actually one of my favourites out of the sort of proper army rations. It's not bad at all. Let's get him heating up. And of course, after I've heated him up, the water, gonna make a coffee with it. And of course, as soon as he puts dinner on, rain starts again. It's only spitting. And luckily, where I'm sitting, under a really sort of heavy leaf canopy, so I'm not getting wet. But I can hear it landed on the tent, and a little bit on the leaves. The sky is looking very grey. Let's hope it doesn't come to too much. That's the one thing I've got against tent camping. Sure, great shelter, especially in the winter, but you're restricted. See, if I brought a tarp, it wouldn't be an issue. I'd just sit under the edge of it, because I've brought the folding fire pit today, put my gloves on, grab the fire pit by the legs. I can move the fire pit to wherever my tarp is. I can carry on cooking and whatever. Naked flame inside a tent, not really ideal, is it? So yeah, really, I'm definitely a tarp person. Let's just hope this doesn't get any heavier, otherwise it's going to be a pain. Right, time for dinner. And I don't know if you saw my last video, but I spoke about an old camping trip that I did back in 1997, I think it was. Well, Camera in Scotland anyway. I'm sure it was 97, summer of 97. And I was saying to, well, you and to Roy, who I was camping with, that I've still got some of the kit from that camp, including this Euro hike knife and fork set. And well, there's probably others on the market, better ones, lighter ones and all that sort of thing, but it still works, you know. I mean, it's a spoon. How complicated can it get? So you don't want to watch me eat, so I shall pause here and start getting some meatballs and pasta down my neck. Well, I'm sure you can tell by the lighting. I've had to put my little light on the camera. It's getting later now. Still not proper dark yet. That's the joy of the summer, isn't it? But yeah, I've had the dinner, done everything I want to do, finished my beer, just made myself a last coffee. I'm gonna let the fire die down a little bit, and then it's going to be bedtime in about half an hour or so. It's been a pleasant evening. It's nice spending time on your own sometimes, but really, given the choice, I would camp with other people. I think I'm far too social. That's the trouble. I don't mind doing solos. It's not a problem. Like I said earlier, it gives you time to think and stuff like that. But I do prefer sitting and sort of having a chat with someone, really. But hey, not this time. I'll get on with this coffee. I'll see you at bedtime. All wrapped up and in bed. It's not late. It's about 10 o'clock. And quite annoyingly,
for the last hour, I suppose. There's an open air concert going on somewhere. It's to my east. Fair old distance must be, because I'm well into the woods, but it's loud. I'm not one that's against music, or even on a camp. You know, if you're someone that wants to take a radio or something, fine. But this is annoying because it's loud enough that I can hear it, but not actually loud enough to work out what's being played. You know what I mean? It's just an annoying blur in the background. Never mind. It won't stop me from sleeping. So, yeah, all wrapped up nice. I'll see you in the morning.
Good morning. Well, it's early. Very early. It's just after 5 in the morning. About 4:30, I think it was. Something woke me up. Something was crashing around behind the tent here. I think it was one of the deer that are in here. And yeah, but it woke me up, and I was wide awake. I wasn't going to go back to sleep, so I thought I might as well get up. What was a bit of a rude awakening was I went to bed last night, lovely and warm, didn't need a jacket, just my jumper on. It was a nice mild night, or at least evening, it was in the evening. So I went to bed just in my t-shirt. When I woke up this morning, stuck my head out of the tent. Bloody hell, it's dropped cold. I checked the weather when I got up, and it's currently 4 degrees. So jumper back on, jacket on. I've even lit the fire again, which I don't normally have the fire in the morning, because I normally pack up and go straight off. But there again, normally I'm not awake this early. So it was light the fire, get a brew on. Bit fresh. Gotta love these little fire pits. As you saw, I had fire going this morning, decent sized fire. I've just tipped the ash into the stream, so that's all safe. And that was probably less than 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago there was fire in here. It's cold. Ready to pack. Clever, clever stuff. And this was a cheapie, a real cheapie. It was a rip-off of the posh ones that you see. Can't really fault it. It's not finished brilliantly, but it does the job. As I've been packing my gear up, I've been thinking about that DD tent. I like it. I like the concept of it, but it's just not big enough for me. Shame. I find the tarp far more versatile, and I thought that was going to be really good, which it is, but just not for me. I think I'm going to move it on, let someone else use it. If they're a bit smaller than me, they'd be fine. Well, that was another successful night out in the woods. Thank you for coming along, and I'll see you on the next camping video. Probably next weekend. I think I've got some guests coming. You'll see who later. See you next week.